time to get started. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if I'm able to say this morning. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. It is a Wednesday in spring in Michigan. Thank you, Carmen. Good morning and welcome. Welcome. My name is Lisa Davis. I will be moderating today the conversations that we will be having, introducing our speakers and giving you a lot of information. So welcome this morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Let me tell you a little bit about, well, do we want to have the new people talk yet? Okay. So 1 Million Cups Metro Detroit, we are a organization, free nationwide organization that educates and engages with entrepreneurs. This organization was started with the Kauffman Foundation, and the Kauffman Foundation thought it was important to help to build entrepreneurial communities and support businesses and ecosystems. The thought process is that every Wednesday morning, 1 million people are having a cup of coffee and talking about small business. So I think that's really great. It's across the country, it's nationwide. So we're here to provide ideas. We're here to have connections and tools for success for small businesses. And we are welcoming and radically inclusive, fostering, opening. We are welcoming and radically inclusive, honest, fostering. What is this? I never saw this before. Y'all can't give a script to somebody that can just ad lib it, right? But we're going to try to read this sentence right through. Welcoming and radically inclusive, fostering open, honest conversations with startup business challenges. We are active on Wednesdays, right? We're active on Wednesdays in 107 communities nationwide. So welcome. What is this? What am I supposed to say with this? Welcome. Oh, recognition. Good morning. My name is Lisa Davis. I've done this before without a script. I didn't understand it. So what I want to do right now is I would like to have anybody that's new, if this is your first time, please raise your hand or stand up. We would like to welcome you. We would like to acknowledge you. We would like to know who you are. And the people that have been here before, please walk up to these new people, welcome them, greet them, shake their hand, get their business card, find out who they are, and make them feel good so they'll come on back again. Okay, get back to the screen. So we want to recognize past presenters. Who has presented in the past? Anybody that's presented in the past? Woo. Now, these are people that have done this before. So if you're thinking about it, if this is your first time here, or if this is your 280th time here, and you're still thinking about presenting, these are some of the people that have done it. They can let you know what their experience was like and how fabulous it was and all the help that they got. So reach out to them. Can you put your hands up again, past presenters? So reach out to them. See how it went for them and get some information from them as well. And then first timers community. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So I would like to let you know, today we have a presenter, but we also have upcoming presenters. We're looking for more presenters. So just to give you an idea of who presents, you can see our upcoming presenters from May 28th to June 25th. Do I need to read those all? The Bold Zone, Perfect Choice Cleaning Solutions, and Incubizo is presenting. Okay, and we are at Incubizo. This is Incubizo, and Incubizo will be presenting on June 4th. Incubizo offers a lot of great things. It'll be fun for you guys to come back and find out all the things that they offer. They're more than just a co-working space. The Grub Bank, Superior Health, and Bespoke Concierge. What's this? Ignore it.
Go. Well, can't you wait for AI?
I know, right? Do you want me to talk about this? Oh, these are the things. Listen, Incubizo is a fabulous place. When you start to get ingrained into the stitching of the fabric of this place, you'll understand how great it is. It is a co-working space, but it also offers more, right? They have business mailing addresses. So if you guys are using your home address, I'm gonna say as a business coach and a former banker of 25 years, stop it, okay? Get you a mailbox, you need one. You're gonna thank me later. Right? They have conference room suites that you can rent at a very affordable price. They have private suites that you can rent to you can have somewhere monthly where you can work and be around community here. They have monthly parking and they also have co-working spaces. Those are the prices at the bottom. Those are monthly prices. Follow us. Who is this for? Incubizo? Take your phone out, scan, Follow, click. All right, yes, we're ready to present. So, presenters, just to give you a little bit of understanding about what we're looking for as a presenter, this is not a pitch. You don't come and pitch your business. You really come and give information about your business. We really want to connect on how you started your business, your why, right? It's very important to understand your why and why you do what you do. And then what is your pain point? What are the things that you're trying to solve in your business that you can't seem to figure out how to get around? And this is what the community is here for. Once the presenter presents, we encourage you to come up front and give your honest feedback so that they can get some information about what are the things that maybe they didn't think about. You might toggle something in their brain. You might toggle something in the people's brain that are sitting here. So it's important to try to give information if you have information, if you have experience in that, because the people that are presenting are really looking how to move their business forward in the areas that they have found concern or they have found that they have a pain point. And they also let you know all of the things that they tried, the things that worked, the things that didn't, and how they want to move forward. There's an iPad going around. If you haven't signed in, please sign in. You know it's important. We need to keep in touch with you. We promise not to spam you. I would spam you. Okay, but we promise not to spam you, but please sign in. Please give us your email address and where you live and what's in your bank account and how much money you make per year and how much your house is worth. Okay, so now we have a coffee sponsor. And do you want to be a coffee sponsor? So our coffee sponsor provides us coffee, but that's not it. If you want to be a coffee sponsor, it's a great way for you to come up, sponsor coffee, get some visibility and recognition for your business because you get to come up and talk for a few minutes, but you also get to supply our Wednesday mornings with some great coffees that either you have, if you have a coffee spot, or that you donate and you have coffee come out. So provide the goods, brag about it. Yeah, okay. So today's coffee sponsor is Purple Heart Pastries. We're gonna have Naomi come up. Yeah, you're Purple Heart. Come on, mommy and daughter. Mommy and daughter. Purple Heart Coffees and Naomi Tajio.
Good morning, Miriam Everhart, and I am the owner of Purple Heart Pastries. So what I do, I have a pastry business where I specialize in ube, purple yam products. So I started the business years ago, just making regular cookies. And then I became part of Filipino community where I was married to a Filipino, and thus I had a child who was biracial and had Filipino. So I learned how to make the food and the desserts. So as I'm building my business, I'm starting here at Incubizo in Oakland Drive. So Daryl's helping me with everything I need to do to get my business started. So I'm going to defer to my daughter because she's helping me also because she does my product photos. So introducing Naomi Tahoe with Tahoe Photography. And so my information is available. I think I have a QR code, but you can scan that. And then of course I'm here every week. So if you have questions, thank you. Right there, you can scan my QR code. So my background is U.S. Army culinary. I was a cook in the Army. And I went to culinary school, so I started my business as a home-based business. Now we're moving into trying to get in stores. So introducing Tahoe Photography. Thank you.
It's actually like my mother, but my name is Naomi Tahonera. My nickname is Tahoe. I own Tahoe Photography LLC. I've been in business about going on 15 years. I did it straight out of college. But I am a Detroit-based photographer and a studio owner that helps small business and creative professionals tell their stories with compelling, high-quality images, from branding, portraits to commercial products, shoots, dynamic, events, and everything like that. It kind of went past it. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I got everything. So I really do focus on studio photography. I am a portrait photographer solely. I help people with headshots. I know that a lot of up-and-coming business owners are sometimes kind of like a situation like now where you're given a quick opportunity and you might not have a professional headshot. I kind of specialize in that, where you just need one headshot and that kind of gets you going. From there, the more you start, especially if you haven't done a professional headshot, I do offer more for other photographers. Most of my clients are women-based businesses, and they're mostly dual, meaning that they have a full-time job and they're also starting their business. So I'm very flexible when it comes to what kind of clients I have. I do offer, like I said, offer photography services, but I also work with clients, like I said, who are just now entering this space, who don't know what kind of content that they need. So it means that can't be put into, like when you start your website, you should not have stock imagery on your website if you offer a product, even if you offer a service, because if you, like I have in here, I have a physical therapist who is my client. If she is a physical therapist that focuses on one specific thing, having a random person that you pulled off the internet in your About You bio makes a consumer, me personally, want to either scroll past you or I don't trust you. So having high quality images with you in them and the people that you serve and your environment does help you as a brand to have people trust you, honestly, because we're just so visual. And then also those are things that you can use on your social media, on your LinkedIn, that way that you start having a cohesive brand. Like I said, it helps with everything. So professional visuals builds trust. I think I kind of went through a little bit of that, good photos, content. And then I also do product photography. So I do have a small sample of what I do. I have a lot of clients. So people who have started makeup companies, people who have a brush company, clothing companies, clothing brands. Sometimes you need that clean commercial look that is easy to put on a Shopify, easy to put on, Etsy. You just need something very simple, because even when you have that simple of an image, of course, I know a lot of people use Canva, like we use a lot of the photo editing apps. That way you can take a high quality image and then reduce it down to fit whatever flyer or whatever, marketing that you're gonna do. But if you don't start off with a high quality image, or even just a decent quality, like just in size, file size, it just keeps reducing down, and it just keeps us as visual learners, just like, the uncanny valley, where the more we see pixels, the more we don't trust that people know what they're doing. So that's the best way I can kind of say it to people who might not know. But I am I'm local. My studio is located in Detroit, Michigan, on the west side of Detroit. If anyone knows the former college, Marygrove College, it is now Marygrove Conservancy. So my studio is located there. I am always open and welcome to working with people. Like I said, I do mostly headshots, and then I even have a mini shoot. So sometimes people just need one headshot. I do have that. It's on my website. And if you have any questions, just for sure, come talk to me. Bye.
Okay, and I want to say hello to the people online, YouTube, and are they Zoom? Okay, good morning. And now we're going to have our speaker come up, Steady Growth, Justin McKnight. Please come on up, talk about your business. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. So let me give you some context. For the last few years, I've had tremendous life change, and maybe some things some of you went through as well. Divorce, huge financial loss through that process, as you could imagine. I have 2 adult-age children. One of them suffers from extreme drug abuse, which has been very trying. And then I lost my job. Usually these things happen separately, but for me, they were all around the same time. That's kind of a shakeup in your life, as you can imagine. But through that, I've really found a lot about myself and really focused on building this strength around self-worth and resilience. So I took these 25 years I had in the automotive business. I started as an engineer at Lear, and worked my way up through different roles. I got into sales, I got into leadership roles. Then when I was at the peak of that, I was a vice president somewhere. That's when they did a reorg and I lost that job. So I took some time to recalibrate. I went into a half the salary role, and I got to work for Toyota, which I would say is the best automaker. My favorite. They really know how to take care of people. Great company. But after a year there, in this half of a role, right, I kind of started as like a buyer. It was like starting over, but I got a great experience out of that. In doing that, I learned quite a bit, and I hit this point. I had already got a coaching certification some years back as one of my leadership goals. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go all in on that. So in August, I had quit my job at Toyota, which was stable and had nice benefits and was well paying and good company, but I knew I wanted to do something more. And I knew a lot of it had to do around resilience. So I was getting burned out. I was unfulfilled. I went through all these hardships, but I kept that growth mindset. I kept my faith. I kept my resilience. And I was trying to transform all my pain into a different purpose. And that's where I'm at now. That's why the company's name is Steady Growth. It's this kind of ongoing growth that all of us are up against and all of us are working with. So, back one. So the problems I focus on are kind of twofold. What I saw, especially in the automotive industry, but I think in a lot of industries, is there's not a lot around leadership development. And I find that to be one of the most important areas to work on because of the ripple effect of that. Not because leaders are superior in some way, but the impact that you can have on a leader, that responsibility on how you can impact other people and how they're going to feel the rest of the day, how they're going to treat your clients, and more importantly, how you impact their lives and how they're going to go home to their families and how that ripples through the community. So to me, there's nothing more important. So I focus on two things: organizations that lack this kind of healthy leadership, because we see a lot of unhealthy leaders, whether it be in government or it be in companies. So really focusing on that. I do workshops, offsites, and then full program. Also on the individual. So one-on-one coaching with kind of midlife professionals that are stuck and unsure on where they're going and what they're doing. So that's more of like a life coaching side. So those are kind of my two areas that I see the problem, and my solution is my coaching programs that I put together. So the biggest challenge I've had since, again, I left that job in August has really been getting meetings with the right decision makers. So let me run through some of the things I've tried and what's working and not. So I'm on LinkedIn quite a bit. I do 2 to 3 posts a week. I used to do more, but I felt more towards the weekend. It just wasn't really doing much. Sometimes even on Monday, but that Tuesday to Thursday seems to be the sweet spot. I got about 3,000 followers there. I'm on TikTok. That one, it's kind of more for my pleasure, but I do 2 or 3 videos a day. I got 4,000 followers there. That's more the life coaching side. So pretty much I get an idea in my head about something I just thought about, or I just learned, or I just went through. I pull out my phone and I'm like, hey, blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm thinking. Boom, TikTok, done. So I do that. I've reached out to prior companies and colleagues. As you would think, I've been in automotive 25 years. So I've reached out to different people and got a little bit of traction there. But as you know, we got a new president, and that was elected back in the fall, and that had a huge impact on the auto industry. So me going back to past colleagues, a lot of them were like, we don't know what's happening in the world, especially with the transition from ICE vehicles to EV, which I'm sure you guys hear a lot about. So many companies were all in on that direction, and then that had to change. That was a huge financial impact to them. Therefore, leadership development or these things on the side, they're like, we don't know about that right now. So a lot of people telling me, come back in the spring. Now it's like, come back in the summer, right? I've done a lot of cold DMs to people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. Like I said, there's about 3,000. So I try to connect with the right people and then send like an intro. And that's remained cold. I'll be honest. Most of those end up in a cold result, which is silence. I've tried to increase my networking. I go to 1 Million Cups in Ann Arbor. That's where I live. So I've been doing that 7 or 8 times. And I really like it. So I appreciate all you being here. And this whole system's been great. I was never one great at networking. So this has been a way for me to kind of warm up into that. And then, of course, today, I built the coaching programs, the workshops, the framework, so I have them. Like if I get hired by someone, it's not like, let me go work on that. Like I have it figured out already. And then what else? The free pilot workshops, I'll show you some things about that. And I'm working on a book, 80 to 90% done, that I hope to release around July this year. And I'm hoping that that helps get me some more traction as well. So I just did an event at Bamboo Ann Arbor, a healthy leadership workshop, 2.5 hours. It went really well. I had 20 people sign up, 16 came, a lot of good participation, a lot of good feedback. I did surveys kind of before and after. So I kind of really could gauge what people learned, what they liked. So I'm using that to kind of fine tune and rebuild my program. Presentation today, 1 million cups. I'll be at New Lab Detroit doing the same workshop on June 3rd. I'm super excited about that one. New Lab's also a co-working space, but they have a lot of businesses in there that are into kind of new tech, some of them in the mobility space. So that kind of ties into my automotive background. Very excited about that one. That'll be another 2.5-hour workshop. Working on a big proposal for a major automaker that I used to work for, that I might have mentioned already. So I'm working on a big proposal for them. It's kind of a long shot, honestly, when you're proposing to the biggest car company in the world. But I know some people there. I have a lot of experience there. So that one I feel like would be a great part of my story. I called on Toyota as a supplier a long time. I worked for Toyota. So to come back and do some leadership development for them would really be awesome for my story. And I know their hardships. I know what they're going through. So I can really, I think, really provide some value there. Working on the book release. And then I'll be at Bamboo Royal Oak doing a smaller version of my workshop on October 1st. They were booked out for a long time. I would love to do it tomorrow, but they said October 1st. So I took that. So the things I feel I need help with, expanding visibility and then turning that awareness into clients. So I'm doing this kind of, would you call it maybe more passive approach with the posting on LinkedIn, and then the more active approach with the cold DMs. But how can I expand my visibility more so there's an awareness of me and my offering, and then of course turning that into clients. Secondly, just ideas and approaches for stronger outreach. You know, because some people say, yeah, LinkedIn's one, but I also have the TikTok. You should try this. You should try that. Okay, I'm open to that. And then I'd like to do more speaking engagements and maybe partnerships with other people. So that could be other coaches that we combine on programs with. That could be other people that host events that could use, this kind of effort around leadership development or life coaching things. So looking for some new partnerships, and then just clearly communicating my value. I know I gave you the 3-minute version of it. So you can ask me questions if you want me to expand on it more, but just making sure I really communicate that value properly so people know what I'm offering and can decide if that's helpful for them. So this is the ways to keep in contact with me, my website, my email. The QR code goes to my LinkedIn. So I think that's a great way for people to easily scan and keep in touch. And then my TikTok, again, that's more me live doing stuff. I talk about some life hardships. I talk about some personal things, but I also talk about just kind of lessons learned through life. So that's that one as well. So I appreciate any of you want to connect, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. So this is the time you can come up if you got any information, if you have any advice, if you have an opinion. We want you guys to kind of stand here so that YouTube can see you, so that Zoom can see you, Justin, and the speakers over here. Come on, come on. All right, come on. Thank you. Here you go.
Hi, Joel LaCavoli from International Strategic Management. I guess I have 2 questions for you. Number one, what's your secret sauce? What is it? Why are you so good? And who is your competition that does the same thing that you do? And number 2, do you have champions that are helping you? Because you need some champions.
Okay. So thank you, Joe. So let me try to answer the first part. So secret sauce. I think I alluded to it some in the beginning, but that resilience part, especially on the life coaching side, talking to people about that you can relate with, that you've been through some of these hardships of life and these major transitions in life, especially on the midlife side of things, the divorce and the aging kids and the empty nest, and even dealing with kids who you gave the world to, but they're on a path that's not right for them. Dealing with those things, I think is definitely personal and I can relate to people on that life side. But I pull that into the corporate side as well, because my focus on the leadership development is how you show up. And how you show up is that resilient piece. So I really hone in on that. My leadership development program is three-pronged. First, the leader, how you show up. Secondly, the leader as part of a leadership team. And then third, the leader, how you're making impact throughout the organization, throughout your home, throughout the community. So those are kind of my three pillars there, but I put a ton of effort in the first part and how you show up as a leader and then resilience. So that kind of focus, I think, is a little unique, and I pour a lot of my own personal stories into it. So when I do my workshop, I share personal things that I've been through, corporate and in life. And I think that humanity of it is kind of a secret sauce. I think there's a ton of consulting companies that do leadership development and they got the blueprint and they're going to come in and do it wherever they go. But I think my humanity, my story that I add to it is a unique approach. The second secret sauce is if I'm talking to an automotive company, which is usually who I'm more targeting just because of familiarity and contacts. I did it for 25 years. I worked for a variety of suppliers. I worked for an automaker. I could walk into any automotive supplier right now and help them in some way, whether with leadership development or strategy, because it's the same process. I don't care if you make bearings or you make tires or you make transmissions, what you're going through, that cadence, like I know it inside and out. So sometimes my dad gets on me. He's like, why did you leave? Like, what are you doing? Stop this coaching thing. You know that stuff. You can work for any great company. But I think I can help them in a different way and speak their language while I'm in there. Even if we're talking about leadership development, I'm still speaking their language. I can give scenarios that they've been through that they can relate with. So does that answer your question, Joe? And I'm sorry, the second question was around champions.
Wait, well, before we do all of that, you guys gotta sidebar off here, okay? Okay, because this is for people to give advice, and we got all these people that wanna talk to you.
Okay,
So you guys connect after, and then you guys give,
but no, I don't have a
like,
champion.
it's not a Q&A, it's for what you guys are offering. Sure.
Good morning, John Gay from Jag and Detroit Podcast. I'm glad you're involved with 1 Million Cups and Bamboo. I'm actually presenting at Bamboo where I look today. So, yeah. So two things. One, I want to challenge you to reframe some of the stuff you've said. I heard a lot of first person coming from you, I and me. I think to really connect, you need to turn that mirror on your potential audience and clients and more you and less I.
Okay.
So think about not so much what you do, but how you would connect with your audience. Like all marketing solves a problem. So what's the problem that you are solving or fixing for your potential customers and clients? Think about it from their perspectives, kind of like, you know, the whole what's in it for me thing. They're asking what's in it for me. Focus on them and look at it from their perspective. That will help. And the second thing, and I apologize in advance if this is offensive, but you brought it up. So you mentioned your son having the drug problem, which I'm so sorry to hear. I can't pretend I can relate to that. However, there may be a personal connection in that space for you. You may find a niche in that area because unfortunately you have that firsthand experience with it, but you might be able to turn a negative into a positive where you can connect with folks in that community, in that recovery community. You have, for lack of a better term, street cred in that, having dealt with that so personally, you might be able to find a little bit of a niche there and work and connect with folks in that arena as well. So that, you know, you've already got, again, I apologize, it's expensive, but you have an in. You can speak the language because you've been through the situation. You might be able to work out something there as well.
Yeah, and thank you, John. I think that's a great point. Not at all offensive at all. You make two great points. I appreciate both of those. I understand what you're saying about the speaking more from a we and in their shoes, and I understand that. I try
Not even we, but you.
But I mean, the first part you said, like as far as going from their point of view.
Yeah.
And saying you to them, right? Yeah. So I think that's a great point too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great presentation. I'm Tanisha Molden. I'm a business strategist and an intellectual property attorney. And I think we all three of us were kind of thinking the same thing about how you're reaching your audience and who. And I took a couple of notes. When you talked about your problem and solution, and to go deeper into what he was just saying, I'm more like, how do we get to finding out what to say or how to reach them, and looking at your competitors, because I know for me, when you were talking about that you could go into any company and do this, it seemed very broad to me. But if you were to look at your competitors, look at the competitors and look at what they're not providing, and something that you can provide, and that's the one thing that you go in talking about to bring out that, because people need to stick to that one thing, because you only have a certain amount of time to get their attention. So what are your competitors? Because everybody's saying they can come in and help. They're using that same line. What can you say to go deeper and to go a little bit deeper? All the channels that you were on, the LinkedIn, the TikTok, it was a lot. Yeah. So I would, suggest that you go deeper instead of going wider. It's deeper meaning that you stick to one or two channels and just go deeper into posting, into engaging, into being on that platform. So you already had, I'm assuming that your workshops, that's a channel because you're getting people to those, and then the LinkedIn. So you said nothing was happening on LinkedIn, but if you had a strategy on how you're going to engage and slow down the process. So I kind of wrote something down, if I have time to share it. So like what I would do is like you post and you wait for engagement, and who engaged, that's who you DM. Who engages is you invite them to add them to your email list, not to a workshop. You ask them would they like to join your email list. And from there, you nurture them on the email list. Then you invite them to a workshop. The people that come to the workshop, you invite them to work with you. Then you go back to the post and say, look at all the people that showed up at my workshop, and repeat the cycle.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that just have a process.
Okay. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And so you guys know I'm recording it on my phone so I can listen back to some of these later. Good info.
Hi, Mike McClure Marketing. I was going to come up and say, you have your set presentation that you've done. In fact, you probably have several of them. Have you done online workshops with those?
No, I have not. I did make an online course a couple of years ago. Since I spent so many years in sales, I made a technical sales training, basically online course. But I've not done anything else really online as far as the workshop on.
Because that's a way you could expand your reach. If you put together, even if they're mini workshops, and you put it out to your LinkedIn, to your TikTok people, I'm going to do this at a certain time. You already have it down. So
are you picturing like a live workshop, like LinkedIn Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do a live thing, and then it's recorded, and you can use it in other ways as well. But you invite people to a live thing, get some feedback as you're doing it live. It's something you already have, so it's not going to take you a whole lot other than marketing the workshop to your communities. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
It's another way to expand reach and reach more people. Because then it's not just people here in Detroit. They could be anywhere.
Right. And I think you're right with the LinkedIn Live, and you had mentioned doing the TikTok lives. So I got to go live.
Yeah.
So I'm live right now. I'm live right now. Here I am.
Live and go live.
Yeah, you're right. So thank you. That's good advice. I will take you up on that because that's the second one. So there's no reason I shouldn't take that. Hello.
Lisa Stein, I'm an attorney and a grant writer. So many people do what you do. It's easy to say, this is what I do, but I want you to demonstrate it. And the first sentence or two of something you write, and the first, your elevator pitch shouldn't be just, this is what I do, but demonstrate it to me. When you're talking to us here, give us something to take away. Always give people something that they can exercise and utilize, even if it's something small, to demonstrate why you're not just another person calling yourself about it.
Right. Okay.
Everything you write, everything you talk.
Is a living example of it, basically.
Yes, something for us to take away with us.
Yeah. Very good. Great. Thank you, Lisa.
Good morning. My name is Phoenicia of Business Solutions. Nice to meet you. One of the things I noticed up there was clearly communicating my value. When I presented here, that was one of my challenges, like how to, share my value and what I do. And I think that is such a great need. One thing I quickly discovered was my messaging. So I connected with someone from marketing that could help me streamline my messaging so that when I talk to people, I was reaching the right audience and they was actually hearing what I was saying, understanding it, and then maybe reaching back out to me. Sorry, I got a little bit nervous when I got up here and I forgot my second one, but.
Like we're in a rap battle, like we're about to.
So I will, and cold calling. So when you talk to that marketing person, get your messaging together, they can also help you put together a lead list. Cold calling has been, I won't say easy, but it's been, I don't even know what to say. Anyway, it's been very helpful. Thank you.
And then you're literally calling, you're talking about cold.
You're literally calling them, but the marketing person, put those together so you're actually talking to the right person, not wasting a bunch of your time, right?
Meaning they helped you find the people?
Yeah, provided that list. And then you want to just offer them to come out, if they have that type of atmosphere, let me show you what I do, let me drop off some swag or something like that, and maybe open the door that way, but that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
And we have a comment from online. So one of our viewers online said, my advice, the name of the company implies company growth, such as a revenue growth. If you keep the company name, a tagline or slogan may be helpful to tack on to the logo. So that's advice from the person online.
And I do take some of that advice. Thank you for whoever did mention that. But I do also often say things about being on a growth trajectory. So that is part of one of my tags. So I do some of that, but I'll consider that further. Thank you.
So thinking about all the information that you heard today, what do you think you'll be able to implement right away?
I gotta go live. I know that. And I think redefining my messaging a little bit, honing in more. I'll have to listen back through the audio and really take in all of that. But I think those are the two things I'll be focusing on as I leave here is like, okay, what's my plan to go live? What am I doing once I go live? It's easy to hit start, but what am I doing? And like was mentioned, I already have, a lot of things laid out presentation wise. So I do like the idea of going live and doing some maybe mini segments, not going live for an hour and a half of my workshop, but maybe some breakout little tastes of it. I like that idea a lot. So I think that's probably the main one I'm gonna focus on next.
All right. Well, thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, next we're gonna have David Benjamin come up, talk a little bit, give y'all some work to do.
Yeah. All right. You got the presentation. Oh, there, perfect. Well, first off, I want to welcome everyone today and really appreciate you guys coming. It's a dedication that I know is not always easy to do, but it's important. It's important for your career. It's also important for our community. So today, I'm going to talk about how to amplify our message and also how to maximize your time when you spend here, but also when you leave here, and some of the actionable steps you can take. So power of active community, right? It's a great experience that we provide here. There's always a chance to strengthen your network, right? So through the conversations that you're having with people here, to the conversations that you engage with afterwards, those are extremely important. And getting feedback, providing feedback, those are all really, really important things. You may be looking for a mentor. You may be looking to collaborate with your business. Know what it is that you're trying to get out of the time that you spend with 1 Million Cups. You're going to get more value out of it if you know why you're even here to begin with. And I think when you come frequently, sometimes you kind of just becomes routine and you got away from some of the real things that will make a difference in your business. All right. Come prepared. This one's important, right? Every Monday on Instagram and LinkedIn, we're posting who the presenter is. what their business is and what their challenges are. You should probably all be taking a look at that if you're planning on coming that Wednesday to know who's going to be presenting. You maybe have some questions that you can start asking and forming that you want to bring because you went on their website or you got a sense of what they do. On top of that, you might go back. Yeah. You might also think of people to invite to the Wednesday meeting, right? Depending on who the presenter is, it may jog your memory of who's in my network that could benefit from coming, who could provide feedback and resources if they come. So being prepared is really, really important ahead of time. And then when you're here, ask thoughtful questions. Today, we had a lot of great feedback for Justin. We have some of the same people, demonstrating their expertise, providing feedback and resources. If you're not doing that, you might ask yourself, what is holding me back? Do I not have valuable information to share? Is there more that I could be doing? In some cases, just you're shy. You're afraid to get in front of the camera. But there's nothing to be afraid of because you guys all look pretty harmless, right? So just become more active and provide that constructive criticism and then or feedback, and then connect afterwards, right? After 10 o'clock happens, that's when the magic really happens, right? Where you get to talk with one another and share ideas and collaborate. And so just think about those things when you're here. Am I doing them all? Am I maximizing my time? And could I be doing something even more? Share your takeaways online with people as well, right? Or engage in conversations all the time. If you heard something in a presentation or in feedback, share it with your network if it's valuable to them, if it's something that would be important to them. More importantly, invite them to come here, right? Through either LinkedIn or just in person. If you are not accustomed to asking people to come, it's something to think about, right? The more people that we can bring together in this community, the more that we can help each other. And if we grow out of this space, we'll just find another space that can hold more people. So it's something to think about and something to do. And engage in our social media, right? I imagine most of you have an Instagram or Facebook or X or TikTok, whatever you have. But are you engaging not only with our accounts, but with other people in this room that are regulars, that are supporters, that are presenters? It's one thing, to come, and that's great. But now what else can you do to help them and help yourself? And oftentimes through social media, through these channels, we can get connected. We can share the message. We can provide encouragement. We may give testimonials. So there's all sorts of things that we're doing online in social media. And the last thing I would say is leave positive reviews. This is probably better suited maybe for like LinkedIn. But if you had a great conversation with someone, if you really got to know someone pretty well, if you spent consistent time with them and you know what they bring to the table, maybe, it's time that you consider writing a testimonial for them. Or likewise, you can request a testimonial. If there's someone that you feel really understands your background, your skill set, there's nothing wrong with asking for recommendations. So those are some things you can do. The power of personal connection is so important because we all have a lot of people in our network, and we want to make sure that we're leveraging those relationships in the most positive way. So be a connector. I know as a former recruiter, as a marketing consultant, I'm connecting people all the time, every day. Sometimes, I know with John Gay was doing a podcast, making connections with someone who now is doing a podcast under his label, right?
She's a great client too.
And a great client. And you should follow her on LinkedIn, right? So there's all sorts of amazing success stories that we hear every Wednesday and then beyond the Wednesday, right? So share those online, offline, with your network. And I think you're going to find you're going to get more value out of it. Some of you might have t-shirts like PJ that have a 1 million cups swag. He's a model. Yeah, yeah. It's only, okay. So, there's cups, right, that you might have. There's, most of us have the orange, notebooks and pens, like Justin's showing us, right? Proudly show those off when you're at a networking event, if you're having a meeting, if you're just out at a picnic and you want to wear your shirt, right? There's all sorts of ways to represent 1 million cups because you're proud of what we've accomplished and your involvement in it. And so there's all sorts of things that, you want to do. Engage in your local community, both online and offline. There may be groups that you're a part of that you can share with your community about 1 million cups. I went to an event this past Saturday for a couple of clients that were there, and I walked around to some of the other vendors, and they're all small businesses. What do you think I talked about? I talked about 1 million cups and why you might want to consider coming. Be a presenter, be a coffee sponsor. The beauty is I was able to just have her go to our Instagram, and the one link is our link tree. If you click on our link tree, it takes you to everywhere you want to go with 1 million cups. Our YouTube page, our Instagram, our Facebook, how to be a presenter, how to be a volunteer organizer, which we could use more of. So there's all sorts of resources that we're providing for you, but you also want to make sure that you're taking advantage of them and you're doing things not only for yourself, but trying to help, again, amplify what we're doing here. Because at the end of the day, the more powerful this community is in helping each other, the better we're all going to be individually. So the call to action is, what are you going to do, right? Raise your hand if you think you might be encouraged to now write a LinkedIn post based on this experience. Raise your hand. Okay, I'm going to be looking to make sure everyone, I got it in my mind. I got a great memory. I'm going to know exactly who did. Actually, I don't. Who's going to give a testimonial? Is there anyone here that might give a testimonial? No? Okay, that's fine. I mean, listen, you're not going to just nilly-willy give them, right? People have to earn them, but just things to think about. And so really, this presentation is about what more can you do? What are you doing a good job of? What maybe have you forgotten about doing? And we would love to be here and be a resource for you because we have a volunteer committee throughout the room. You could raise your hand if you want. Who's here today? We got a whole bunch of them. So if you have questions or if you need help, go to them. That's what we're here for. We're the resource. I hope some of this helps. If you have any questions afterwards, I'll be here. But that's all I had to say.
Thank you very much. We'll be doing that. There's nothing else?
This is go back
So-
to that, and that's the link tree. You can go back to that. Yeah, there. That's the 1 million cups link tree.
Scan. See you next week, but we've got some announcements, so go to the next slide. So June 12th, we have an event coming up at Boozy's in Madison Heights. It's a workshop. It's an Instagram workshop, and that's David. So if you're interested in learning how to do more on Instagram, David will have this workshop at Boozy's in Madison Heights from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Go ahead.
QR code.
Next one.
Okay.
QR code, scan it. May 29th, you can register now for the Black Wealth Tour. Scan it and get more information.
Black Business Alliance does Black Wealth Tour, so it's open to everyone, but it is an event that is here.
Is it gonna be here? It'll be here at Incubizo on May 29th at 6 p.m. The Michigan Black Business Alliance will be here on their wealth tour. This will be one of the stops. Okay. Yeah, I need notes. I need a note card because I can't read it. All right, and then also Kaufman is having a fast track from June 18th to August 6th. It's a Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Application deadline is May 30th. There's no QR code. What is this? Is this an incubator or accelerator?
There are 3 people here to talk about it and network with.
There's 3 people here to talk about it and network with. So can you raise your hands? If you're interested in taking your small business to the next level, you might want to join the Kaufman Fast Track. All right, next slide. And this is me. because that's what I came to talk about. I want you to understand how to unlock your power with AI. I've been working in the AI for the last 2 years. I've completely built out a strong chat GPT. So yes, you can grow your business to 6 figures in 2025 if you're dedicated, focused, and as crazy as I am, where all you do is work. Next slide. So I'm a former banker of 25 years, and I'm also a business coach. I have 300,000 followers on social media. I have contracts. When I left corporate again in 2023, I signed $1 million worth of contracts that were good for over 4 years. So it's not like you got the whole $1 million that year, but it was like, it's a 4-year thing. So I have contracts that go over and over. What I am saying to you is that if you're not on social media, if you don't know how to work social media, if you don't know how to talk about your brand, if you don't understand you're always your brand, if you're not always thinking that I need to be bankable so that when I get to the point that I need to scale my business is in shape, I have a business plan, I have financials, I understand the cost of doing business, I understand the valuation. If you don't know how to talk to your clients and you need a script and you can't overcome objections, if you don't know how to do all these things to make money and you're not making money yet, y'all need to join me on July 7th for the online virtual 6-week course, because I will teach you everything I know. And I put it all into a chat GPT, which also has underwriting guidelines and all kinds of things to answer all your questions so that you can take your business to the next level. But you really got to be focused. You really got to work hard, and you really got to be dedicated. Like, figure out who your brand is and not have 5 different businesses. So these are on the table. You can check it out. And then it's time for the group photo. Do we want to have anybody else come up, or do we want to acknowledge anything else? Nope. Okay, then it's time for the group photo. Kalani photo, view more photos here. Everybody come up front. What we do at the end of 1 Million Cups every single Wednesday is we take a group photo. It gets posted on our social media pages, LinkedIn and Instagram. So come on up front. Yes.